Country Eve is here. You know, I truly enjoy just doing this. You know, at the end of the day, I'm just here to encourage you and give you what I know. I'm not going to hold these good things in. I'm going to put it out there because that's what the Lord wants me to do. I don't want you to feel like you're behind the 8 ball with nothing. You might as well go and shoot some pool. And no, we're not trying to play no games right now. No, this is serious business here. So I'm going to put it out there. What about those of you that long for the good old days? Don't do that because this is not wise. I bet I got a good idea as to why that wouldn't be wise. Sure, we all have our nostalgic moments. The good memories are there to make you smile, to kind of help you to grow sometimes. But then sometimes when you look back in those days, you got those bad memories that kind of keep you in bondage because now you're held down by the bad things you might have did, those mistakes you made, those trip ups, those fails. So sometimes when you long for those good old days, that's just not wise because the Lord elevated you for a reason. Because if you go back to that, then you're going back to things that you were trying to grow from. I remember I've been out there a couple of times where I was just like, man, I wish I can go back to when it was like this. Or man, I miss when I had this and I had that. Or man, I wish I can just go back to 4 years ago when everything felt normal for me. But I've also had to learn that there's obviously a reason why I'm not back there where I used to be anymore. Because the Lord, He's trying to get us above that. Those things we did in the past were all things that did not please the Lord. We had to grow past the hurt. We had to grow through the pain. We had to grow through the suffering. So why would you want to long for those days? You're past that now. Don't crave for those good old days as if the best of you is not yet to come. Because right now you're not in that place in life where you want to be. Maybe the season that you're in is a rough season for you, and we're all going to have it. Sometimes when you're in that rough season, it makes you look back to the past and say, man, I wish I could be doing the things that I was once doing. I've said it before too, but now that I think about it, I'm glad I'm not there anymore. Back then, I was doing all the things that I shouldn't be doing. Sinning like the world, and I was conforming to the world back then. So why, in my own right mind, will I want to go back to that? So no, I don't long for those good old days anymore. No, I long for what's ahead. I long for what the Lord is trying to develop me into. I long for what the Lord is trying to mold me to become. You see what I'm saying? So no, you don't want to long for the good old days because the good old days are what's behind you. You're not that anymore. You're your new self now. So long for the new you, not the good old days. And then what about you guys out there that love the idea of free, right? Get this free, buy one, get one free. You know, like that BOGO deal. So you're wholetail for it because you like the idea that something comes free to you. That's how sometimes they get that rod and they reel you in with that word free, right? I get it because free sounds good. Announce something that's free to me, I'm going to be there in a New York minute. You ain't got to tell me twice. At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with free. But there's one thing I know that is free. And that's the Lord's grace and compassion for you. It's free and undeserved. Some of us, like myself, don't deserve it. I have to say to the Lord plenty of times that, Lord, I thank you for blessing me, for saving me and keeping me when I never deserved it. The Lord's favor and compassion that has been on me when I didn't even pay attention. You're also free to do good. The Lord said He gives you the freedom not to do sinful things. No, use your freedom to do good. So if you are going to enjoy free, do the right things with that free. The Lord is waiting to be generous to you. He's waiting to give you that favor. You got to turn to God. That's what He's waiting on. He's not going to pour out this good favor on you if you're being disobedient to Him. But yet you want that other free stuff, right? That comes with the price. Or sometimes that freedom that comes with disappointment, right? That free that comes from the Lord is not something you can desire or work for. It's free and undeserved. And that's actually the great thing about it. For those of us out there that have sinned and have done wrong, and the Lord still sometimes decides to pour that favor on you, right? So we ought to be glad that it is free and undeserved. Because if it was for only those out there who did deserve it, who did all that was right, all that pleased the Lord and who didn't sin, then He'd skip over many of us. But let's show the Lord some more glory in that. Let's glorify the Lord and let's honor the Lord. Whatever the world is trying to give away that's free, it doesn't compare to what the Lord is trying to give us that's free. Because what it's going to do is going to disappoint you. You know what you thought when you went to that buy one, get one free deal. and they just tried to reel you in. That was all to it. Then once you got there, you can see that they basically sucker punched you. The good news about the Lord, the free that he's offering you is worth much more. Bottom line, what about those of you out there that's in that glorious relationship of yours? Oh yes, oh yes. I like to get on y'all sometimes. Y'all relationship folks just get on my nerves. Y'all get on my nerves. But that's not what this conversation is about. So like those of you out there that's in that relationship, right? And you just cherish that relationship, don't you? It gives you that fire in life, right? It makes you feel good. You have something to look forward to pretty much every day. It's almost like you're committed to something. Or for those of you who knows and understands that commitment part. Now you got those out there that ain't committed to nothing. You're in a relationship just because you want something to do. I ain't talking about you people. Y'all can go sit down somewhere. No, I'm talking about those who really understand relationships. When you're in a relationship, it's almost somewhat like a commitment. Am I wrong or am I right? You're obligated to make the person feel good. You have to think about what you're doing before you do it because you don't want to ruin the relationship. You want the relationship to be good, right? But at the end of the day, that relationship is yours. But don't you know that's the same relationship you ought to have with the Lord our God first? Yes. Put the Lord first. That's the relationship that matters. And then the Lord will bless your relationship. But if you ignore the Lord our God first and you're just consumed by the relationship that you have with your mate, that's why problems happen. You get it? You run into problems, you run into ups and downs, and you wonder why relationships don't last. You wonder why your relationship started off great, and then by the time you got in that second year, it was like turmoil, and you're just wondering what happened. Are you even the same person that I met before? Yes, because you're not including God in it. The both of you as individuals want to have their relationship with God. And then in your relationship together, you want to put God in your relationship. That's how it's going to work. And sure, you're still going to have your disagreements, but you still have the Lord in the middle of that relationship. The Lord should be the center of it. He's going to be the one that's going to see you through. Yes. So don't just neglect the Lord. I'm a firm believer that the Lord made man and woman for each other. Relationships are lovely. They're important. I do think they're needed. Two heads are better than one. Enjoy the relationship. And here's my favorite word, bask in it. But don't forget to put the Lord first in your relationship. That's how it's going to work. And then the way that you do that is you make sure you're praying together. You make sure you're acknowledging the Lord together. You make sure that you're glorifying the Lord together. No, don't be ashamed to do that. I've even had times when I was angry at God. I shouldn't even have been in that type of relationship, but I never once included the Lord in it. I was just doing what I wanted to do, and I never once decided that I wanted God ahead of my life. And I had the nerve to wonder why I went through what I went through in my relationships. The Lord probably was like, girl, if you don't sit down, you got the nerve to be mad at me, but yet and still, you didn't include me in not one thing. You didn't once come to me for confirmation of this relationship. You just went on and thought that you had control of your life, girl. If you don't satch. I just went through so much in my relationships, but now I understand why. And it doesn't mean that all relationships are going to be perfect, but the relationships are 100 times better when you both include the Lord and have a relationship with God. Then you can look forward to a better relationship with everybody else. That's the important relationship. That's the relationship that matters. God first, and everything else comes next. Bottom line.